Hello, good evening. As a part of 25-year celebrations of IIMK anniversary, which is going to be held in August 2021, we are presenting to you a very interesting webinar on transformation. Health is wealth is what we have read since ages. A healthy body is defined as the overall ability of the body to function well. It includes physical, mental, spiritual health. When one maintains good health, it opens key to happiness. Maintaining good health can be through multiple ways: exercising, eating healthy food, fitness routine, keeping body hydrated, sleeping in time, recovering from an ailment, injury, meditation, etc. World Health Organization commemorates World Health Day every year on April 7 to create awareness among people about health. And today is celebrated National Sports Day, the birth anniversary of legendary hockey player Major Dhyan Chand. At IIMK Fit Group, we spread the message of maintaining good health every day within our network and society. We have an interesting webinar on transformation theme scheduled for you this evening. There are interesting takeaways for each one in the audience. You will notice how different routes can be taken to reach the self-set goal towards fitness and thereby achieving happiness and motivating many around. The star panelists will share their before and after fitness journey, which will amaze you with their dedication and passion to reach their preset goal. I'm going to announce their names and introduce each one of them subsequently. Anupama, PGP 20, Vivek Raj, PGP 12, Karthik RamChandar, PGP 11, Peeyush Jain, PGP 11, Deepika Raikwar, PGP 10, and myself, Sukhdeep Singh Aasht, EPGP 03. Each of the panelists will share their transformation journey and share lessons learned with all. I'm briefly introducing our panelists. They are awkward souls who made a transformation in their awakened soul who have made their transformation in their life. Anupama. Hello, Anupama. Hello.
Yes.
Yeah. Anupama loves traveling, weight training, and recently started her YouTube channel on fitness. Her transformation journey started immediately after completion of her MBA in April 2018. So within 3 years of completion of MBA, she reduced 10 kgs from 78 to 68 kgs by playing badminton, gym, cutting down on all the junk items, including sugar. She loves researching on YouTube, Google on diet and workout. Yeah, Vivek Raj has a super energy level, which we witness every our fit group. His transformation journey from 105 kg to 85 kg is amazing. As per him, it is still work under intense indoor playing tennis. He also will share actually one phase to achieve.
I think there is a poor connection at Sukhdeep's side, so I'll resume the show. And Vivek, why don't you introduce yourself and tell us about this great transformation?
Sure. So I think again I'm in hallowed company with all the other panelists
probably achieving much more than what I have, having certifications and being experts in their areas. Me, I just tried to form some habits and try to mix some moderation in diet with working out regularly, and getting from around 101 to 3 kg weight range to currently around 85. So um, in terms of quick introduction, I work with Shell. I am a batch of 2010 pass out, PGP 12, currently based out of Bangalore, and very happy to be here in this company.
Thank you very much, and a very warm welcome to you, Karthik. The, can we have Karthik on the screen? And Karthik, hello, very welcome, a very warm welcome to you. I'm seeing you after a very long time, and look at you. You look like a
Always a
very
pleasure.
different person, a totally different person. I'd never remembered this person as, I don't think I've ever met this person whom I see on the screen today. So tell us a little bit about your journey and, how did you do all this?
Yeah. Hi, I'm Karthik from PGP 11 2009 pass out. Currently, I work with NetMeds Marketplace Limited. See, I've always been obese throughout my, as long as I remember, throughout my adult life, and that's how you probably remember me, Deepika. You know, uh, I always used to be, always overweight, 90, 100, 110, 115, 120, 125, 130 kilos, right? And it really, I was never, bothered about either my weight or the, health aspect attached to it. Then, I thought I should probably, just go by the flow, and that's how I always was. Uh, then, suddenly around 2018, uh, there were like two incidents, right, which kind of uh, transformed the way I looked at myself. One was quite embarrassing, I would say, right, the negative aspect, right, to hit you hard. So one of my in the company that I used to work, there was an event, and I couldn't fit myself into a company T-shirt, right, and then he told me, sir, you're as big as Henry. So in my opinion, Henry was this huge guy, right? Then are you saying I'm of the same size as Henry? I don't think so, right? Then apparently it turned out to be, even though I knew I was like quite overweight, I kind of that it did not hit me till then. Right? Then the second part is actually the a good experience, right? Again, couple of months later, we had traveled to UK, and I saw a lot of people, irrespective of their age, right? Walking, jogging, cycling, that kind of an active lifestyle. I saw passion. Well, the climate also would have helped, right? Then I came back to India after the 10 days. It was the best holiday. It was completely worthwhile. I started, understanding, I try to understand how I should be doing this. Uh, and that's the journey it started, and it turned out to be really good for me. So in terms of the transformation, somewhere around 125 kilos, now down to about 75, 77, thereabouts, almost 50 kgs. More active. I'm able to live, uh, an active lifestyle. I'm very happy.
Deepika, you might be on mute.
Oh, what a fascinating journey. I'm so sorry I was on mute, and what a fascinating journey. And on throughout this workshop, and not workshop actually, throughout this webinar, we are going to hear more about you and from you, and we are definitely going to pose a lot of questions on how did you achieve things on the way. Let me introduce you to another star panelist and one of the persons who actually got me motivated in this journey. Very welcome, very warm welcome to you, Peeyush. Uh, Tell us a little bit about yourself and how you started with this transformation journey. Over to you, Peeyush. Peeyush, you're on mute.
Again, I'm sorry. Thank you, Deepika, for having me on this panel and sharing my journey. I wish namaskar, hola, hello, vanakkam to each and everyone out there, whoever is listening to this webinar. I'm very happy to share my journey. And with this, I would also love to see a healthier world if if sharing of this journey is helpful for others, so that people can transform their life. So I graduated from IIMK Code in 2009. I considered myself as a healthy person. I used to do yoga and few regular exercises on and off. Over a period of time, in next 4 or 5 years, I got certain diseases, which I did not realize how I got. So I started with dark skin on the neck, skin tags, then later got acidity reflux, asthma, high BP, and in 2007 I got my blood test done. When I realized that I have very high blood sugar, over 185, and this was the tipping point in my life when I realized, oh shit, now I cannot take another medication. I was already on BP medication, I was already on asthma medication, and this was the time which was a tipping point for me. I realized that either I commit suicide. It was so serious. Either I commit suicide or do not depend on this medication. Now, luckily, I was very fortunate enough to meet someone who helped me guide through this journey, who helped me understand the very basic of the science of how our body metabolism work, and how food and exercise and our habits transform us and get so I actually so this diet thing and lifestyle thing was kind of a low carb high fat diet, or some people call it keto diet, some people call it LCHF diet. I got onto that, and over a period of time I realized that I have reduced weight by 10 kg in over just 40 days. So I'll not stress upon the 40 days part, because that makes it something magical. However, I got rid of all my diseases, and I also got rid of other things, like simple things like constipation, digestion, gastric issue, flatulence, and all. I improved upon my immunity. So I'll share in the consecutive journey how this happened. Improving my diet and habits helped me a lot in transforming myself. Now I'm able to understand my body, and I'm with this experience I helped over 1,000 people till now get into a very good lifestyle and healthy lifestyle. Thank you. Deepika, over to you.
Wow, that's a great, story. I know most of the people don't have any idea that how LCHF is going to work, and there are everyone starts with this lifestyle with a lot of haste, because the component of high fat is something which always is the least convincing part of telling people that you can eat fat and you're still in diet. And thank you very much for sharing that you followed a LCHF. And got your results, and that was instrumental in reversing so many of your ailments. My story is no different. When things start happening to you, you don't really have the grip of your life. I mean, when I was never a fat person. I was never a fat person. I was a good athletic build, moderate weight. I was like that in IIMK, but when I started with the job, all these bad habits, bad food habits, things kind of started building up, and I was diagnosed a pre-diabetic. I never had any thyroid issues, but yeah, there were the fat was building up to more of stories. Not that I didn't do anything about it. I started running marathons. I started preparing for it. I started hitting the gym, so many things, but nothing would work for me. I will get frustrated, like most of us. They will, we start on a regime, it's not working, we'll get frustrated, we'll leave it, and then I will give into emotional eating. So that actually got me to a body weight of 86 kgs, and I didn't care about it. I had it was like, okay, it's my body, I love it, I accept it, it's me, it's all of me. uh, and I was okay about it. But then, I still remember the day when I was walking in IIMK, in one of the, I think it was a Sangam or Nostalgia. That is something which I don't remember, but I have this clear memory of, I'm walking in the premises of IIMK with Peeyush and talking about his transformation journey, and he was telling me about this fantastic lifestyle of uh, low carb and high fat, and I was like, acha, ye kaam karta hai. And that's exactly how we started discussing, and he said that, yeah, it works, see, this is what it is. I said, okay, fine, I'll take a leap of faith. How to start? That is how my journey started. And he shared some Excel sheets. I actually blindly followed them. Then I started getting into the groove. So the first 5 kgs, when from 86 to that first 5 kg drop has happened, I got motivated. I started seeing validations and I wanted to do more. And that's how everything, I started getting into the science of it, which we are going to talk during this entire conversation. And it just happened, and in no time, in 8 months, I was from 86 to 66 to 55. And 55 was my lowest body weight at any given particular point in time. Right now I'm 60, so yeah, I've gained a little bit more, but 86 to 55 was actually a transition. There were things which I started noticing in myself, which I never imagined would ever come back. Like, I started seeing, a good posture more than anything, a good posture, the energy levels, everything changed. I never saw that I could also have jaw lines. I mean, any fat person would not even, imagine that. But they kind of magically appeared one day, like when I was 55, it was way more prominent. So yeah, thank you very much everyone for having me. And we are going to share more details about who did what. And if Sukhdeep is back, I'm going to hand it over to him to set out the questions to all of us. Sukhdeep, over to you.
Yes. Yeah. Hello, Deepika. It was pleasure hearing you. Always an inspiring to hear those who have succeeded to achieve their goals. And since we are having excellent panel with us, so this journey this webinar becomes more interesting. There's one common question, I mean, which immediately comes in our mind when we think of before and after. Where it all started? What was the tipping point? When you realized that this is where I have to start. This is where I have to change my lifestyle. So I would like to hear from you. What were your key transformation results during journey? Which of course most of you have covered in introduction, but mainly about tipping point. So I'll request Anupama. Over to you, please.
Yeah.
Anupama.
So for me, yeah. Hi everybody. As Sukhdeep introduced me, I'm from PGP 13 batch. I passed out in 2018. So for me, tipping point was in 2017 when I gained weight. As in, I saw a number on weighing scale which was 78 kgs. I was uh, I was very worried about how things were at that time, and my body fat percentage was increasing. My shirts was going up. I was not even able to get any shirt of my size. I still remember days of placement when I went to a store in Kozhikode, like many stores actually. I could not get anything. Then I went to Bangalore. There also I could not get anything. So finally I got it stitched. So that was one trigger point. Apart from that, a lot of health issues started happening. Like I was having this knee pain issue, and doctor also advised me to reduce weight. Apart from that, I was actually looking quite older than people of my similar age. So then I thought, like, okay, this is the point. I have to leave all this unhealthy lifestyle aside. And you know how it happens in college. You eat a lot of junk. There's no timing to sleep. So similar lifestyle was going on. That's why I reduced maximum weight during my MBA. So finally, I took it up in early 2018. I started with building small habit of cutting down on food. I then started walking for 30 minutes in college itself. I took up badminton as a sports. So that was the initial phase. But seriously, I took it up after April 2018. So there, I had a time of 3 months before joining to a new job. So I just decided like I have to reduce, 10 to 14 kgs in this span of time, because that was a time when I actually could give up best. So I joined gym. I did a lot of research on YouTube. I read various blogs on fitness and diet. So finally, I never used any kind of keto diet or any LCHF diet. My diet was very balanced. It consisted of all the carbs, fat, and protein. And in a very sustainable way, I reduced it, and I really worked hard for 4 months. So the transformation result was I reduced my weight from 78 kgs to 64 kgs. I did gymming only for 4 months. That's it. After that, because since I got into a sales job where I had to travel a lot, so I could not continue gym, but I made sure that I will maintain this healthy life. And I used to work out in hotel gym or in hotel room, and I focused on eating healthy. So eating healthy is very important part of your fitness, which I even now I take care of it. So yeah, so my skirt size actually reduced from 43 inches to 36. My waist size reduced to 39 to 29 inches. And the best part of this fitness journey was that I formed a habit of eating healthy and working out for 3 to 5 days. So yeah, that was the tipping point in my transformation journey.
Hello. Hello.
Yes, Sukhdeep, we can hear you.
Yeah, I mean, amazing, Anupama. Very, very inspiring. The best part is that you didn't go into dieting. You continue to eat golgappas. Amazing. So I'll love to hear Vivek. Vivek, over to you. We'd like to hear your tipping point. And
Thanks, Sukhdeep. And I guess you'll love to hear that I have continued to eat almost everything I used to as well. Um, but yeah, I mean, so I started this journey back in August last year. I tried for 2 weeks, then I would miss it for a month, then restart it, do it for 2 weeks, again stop doing it. Did that for 2, 3 times, and then finally I restarted going to the gym and trying to moderate my diet in around mid-December last year. And then I was probably at a stage where I was working out for 2, 3 weeks, and I would have probably again relapsed into, okay, this is enough, I can't do it. And then I went for my full body checkup, and at high risk of diabetes, higher than normal cholesterol, and a number of other. I mean, I can show you the overall test results, and there are only a few check marks there. So I think that was one that basically said, okay, hey, if you stop now, this is not sustainable. So that was probably the most important tipping point. And see, I already had an active lifestyle. I would play tennis 3 to 4 times a week, but that was not enough to, get me to where I wanted to be, right? So I think that fitness report that came out, or the health report that came out, was definitely the tipping point for me in my current round of journey, right? And again, just to clarify, this is still work in progress. I'm still overweight. But instead of 29, 30, 31 BMI, I'm at just below 26 BMI. So definitely something that I'm proud of. Over to you, Sukhdeep.
yeah, Vivek. And there is one more thing which you have forgotten, that you have started running. So this work in progress thing will take 2x the speed now.
Yes.
Hello. Yeah. So one thing which we have always admired about Vivek in particular, because he keeps on motivating each one of us by sharing his everyday workouts. So he is very, very energetic in this. So over to you, Karthik, please. I mean, we are waiting to hear from you. You are a certified nutritionist also, and multifaceted personality, and then before and after speaks 1,000 words. So over to you, please, Vivek. Karthik.
Sure, Sukhdeep. So if I tell you that there is this one tipping point, right, which started that transformation spark, right? I would be lying. I'd be blatantly lying. I tried a lot of stuff in the past, right? Uh, 2010, I even underwent liposuction. Okay, did not work. I've tried every possible diet that was a thing of that era, like GM diet, right? Things like eating only vegetables on one day, only fruits on the second day, things like that. I've tried everything, right? Nothing worked out. So I continued to live my life as always. Then 2018, that kind of was the tipping point for the current wherever I am right now, right? It could be as silly as this, right? We kind of attended an event where almost about 250 employees, all of us were wearing a T-shirt and we were representing the company, and I was the only person, and probably the other guy Henry I mentioned in the introduction itself, that we were the only two people who were not wearing part of that the event. And I was told, hey, if you don't get size for Henry, it's okay, or you should have got my size, no? Then the guy, marketing guy, told me, sir, you and Henry are of the same size. I said, what? I don't think so. Right? Henry is like this huge guy, right? I don't think I'm as fat as he is. And apparently, when we measured, right, I was bigger than Henry. That turned out to be a fact, right? So that was like a wake up moment, I would say, right? And then a couple of months later, when we went to UK, I saw a lot of people walking, doing their exercise, cycling, right? Through the day. I was driving as a tourist, of course, and during the trip, I couldn't spend. Involves a lot of walking, right? So I couldn't, engage with my daughter, right? My triglycerides were very high, right? Around 440, 450, right? Cholesterol, again, when we discuss the science about weight loss and healthy living, I'll probably touch base upon that. When it comes to triglycerides, it was like too high. That causes all the cardiovascular diseases, right? HbA1c was 7.5, right? I was even prescribed to take anti-diabetes medicines, which eventually I did not. It turned out to be a good decision, right? So all of these things, the negative thing was not being able to wear the t-shirt when I wanted to, the company t-shirt, right? The positive was seeing a lot of people leading a healthy lifestyle, right? I wanted a slice of that. So we came back to India on 30th of April, 1st May, started walking, right? That's how it started. I loved it. I was able to see results. It kind of motivated. Learned a lot. The science behind the reason for weight loss. And when I plateaued, food was the biggest factor I learned, right? How eating right kind of helps you in this transformation. Started learning, it interested me, right? Got myself certified, in intermittent fasting, in weight loss and diet planning, right? So help a lot of people in their transformation journeys, right? And I kind of felt, I've reduced weight, right? People who not seen me 2 years back, probably in the last 2 years, they wouldn't recognize me now. So
No,
everybody
we
who
all
knew
have
me
seen your before and after pic.
Yeah, so obviously,
Yeah.
so
So
lot of
we all
people
have seen
ask
your
for,
before and after.
so people ask for how did the journey,
So,
they wanted me to help them, right? And the pleasure, the joy of doing that is amazing. It's amazing.
amazing, Karthik. I mean, we will definitely be asking a lot many questions to you later. Now, over to Peeyush, please.
Piyush,
Peeyush.
I'll jump in before you start.
Sure.
Okay.
Just
So Deepika. Yeah. Yes, please, Vivek.
Vivek, you want to say something?
Please.
Vivek wants
want
to
to
say
speak
something,
something?
so over to you, Vivek.
I just
Please.
wanted to say, so I met Karthik,
Tell
I
Vivek.
believe I met Karthik in 2017 Nostalgia, not Nostalgia, annual alumni meet in Bangalore. And that was probably Karthik's peak in terms of being a Henry. To when I saw his photo on the fit group, I just couldn't recognize him at all. And even in PGP12, my batch WhatsApp group, when people saw his photo, everyone else, they either saw and they were like, either I've seen before or something. But when they saw Karthik's photo, and he's a year senior, right? So they have seen him in college and they were just blown away. So there was just so much activity on the group yesterday yesterday or the day before when they saw the picture. That speaks volume for what he has done.
I'm humbled. You know what? Ironically, when I, flip back into old pics and videos, and I'm looking at the pictures of birthday parties and stuff, right? Suddenly, this huge guy walks in. Even I wouldn't be. I don't recognize myself there, right? Whenever my daughter sees that old pictures, like he looks at me and says, "Papa, this is you." That time, cut. Yeah, I know.
Yeah. No, absolutely. Karthik and Vivek, I agree with you. We all take motivation from each other and inspiration from each other. Deepika took inspiration from Peeyush. Now we are going to hear directly from Peeyush, his tipping point. And then we will ask the follow-up questions. Yes,
Okay.
over to you.
Sorry to come in here. In fact, sorry to come in, Peeyush. In fact, when I was, in plateaued in terms of food, what next, right? What more, right? I also went to Peeyush for help, right? This was in 2018 when I went to Bangalore for the annual,
Yeah, wonderful,
meet.
wonderful.
So, Peeyush helped me.
Yes. So, Peeyush, please.
Okay. Thank you, Sukhdeep, and thank you, Karthik. It's actually amazing to see the transformation that all of us are going through. As I explained earlier in my discussion, in my introduction, I had kind of shared my tripping point, but I'll now touch upon it very briefly. So, 2017 was the time when almost 7 years had crossed after my graduation, and I had got onto several diseases, starting from high BP, dark skin on the neck, skin tags, acidity reflux, and asthma, and I was on medication. And then when I was diagnosed of high blood sugar, which was around 185, it was kind of a diabetic in nature. I realized that I don't want to take another medication. I was very fortunate to hear to a fellow neighbor in my apartment. His name is Mr. Desikan, and he was on the journey of improving his lifestyle for last 4 years, and he was diabetic for almost 12 years, and he got that from a doctor in Chennai. So he essentially shared his the science behind low carb, high fat, and I was amazed to see that the science behind the diet and the change in the lifestyle was actually written in class 10th biology book. So I had to go back to my school education. I wondered whether why did I not apply that science to myself and my body. And when I applied that over a period of time, in next 9 months, it was a wonder for me. I could get rid of high BP. I could get rid of sugar. Now my sugar level remains around 80 to 90. There's no acidity reflux. There's no asthma. Surprisingly, asthma went off. I got rid of the entire medication. And there were certain other very small diseases, I would say, I would use the word diseases, which we assume to be part of lifestyle, like weak digestion, gastric, constipation, flatulence. They are kind of all gone. And you also feel heaviness after lunch or meal. And my immunity was very low. I always had to get high antibiotic during the flu season. Now, since last 3 years, I have not taken any antibiotic. Even the flu doesn't affect me at all. So that was the changes that I could see during my transformation journey. Now, I thought that this change in diet or getting onto a diet will be there for, let's say, 15 days, 45 days, or maybe 2 3 months. However, I got into that habit and made it my lifestyle. So it's actually not, we'll not call it diet a diet, we'll call it a lifestyle, rather. So I got into a lifestyle, and that was the changes which happened. I now share my journey with other people, happy to transform many of those, achieve their results. So this is my journey in brief. Sukhdeep, over to you. I think you have not shared your journey, so I'd request you to share your journey. You have a fantastic journey. You're on mute, Sukhdeep.
Deepika? No, I am unmuted. Hello.
So
Hello.
we
Am I
all
audible?
are waiting. Yes, Sukhdeep, we all are waiting to hear your great transformation journey.
Hello.
Sukhdeep, you're audible to us. So while Sukhdeep is away, I'm going to talk about my, a little bit about my journey. And once he's back, oh, he's back. So Sukhdeep,
Hello.
why don't
Am I
you share
audible?
your
Yes.
Yes,
Yes.
you are.
Yeah. Hi. Good evening.
So please share your transformation journey, Sukhdeep.
Yeah. Thank you. Yeah. Basically, my transformation. Yeah. Thank you. Yeah. My transformation journey is totally different from all of you. I have never undertaken any diet. I have never undertaken any other kind of a pre-decided kind of a weight loss journey. It was an injury which was very serious. It was two slip discs, scoliosis, sciatica, in which rendered my me bedridden. I had to travel end to end wheelchair, and there were 5 doctors we consulted. Every doctor recommended me to go surgery. My wife, who is dietitian nutritionist, and also pharmacist, she helped me a lot for mental positivity. We never underwent any operation. Also physiotherapy, slow walking. Slowly, after 18 months or so, I started walking very slowly. 3 weeks I did walk. Then I started running. Now, after a year and a half, I must have run around 25 30 3 marathons. And I always have believed that everything is in mind. So if we decide injury, physical injury. So this is a very small, and I always have believed in spreading the message of happy fitness to all my within network and friends, because I personally feel when anybody is fit, anybody is, then he is happy. So that is it, Deepika. Over to you.
It really takes a very, very positive mindset and headstrong behavior to make a journey such strong as yours from a wheelchair to active marathon running. And I would absolutely, congratulate you. This is such a great transformation which you have made. Now, if I were to share whatever little I did, uh, see, transformation, as Piyush said, is not a matter of a diet or a habit. It's a matter of a lifestyle. If you really want to sustain, because diets would come and go, they would come, impact you, a short term benefit would be seen, etc. And then in the longer run, everything, if you really given back to your old habits or bad habits, that impact will be lost. So it's a matter of a very sustainable. Somebody said, Anupama actually brought this particular word, sustainable. So yeah, so you need to have certain habits which are sustainable. That's number one. And number two, they are no more habits, but they are lifestyle. And then, as Sukhdeep said, that the positivity has always to be there, because if you don't really trust what you're doing, I think you're cheating this entire process, and you don't really have faith on something in which you're investing time in. So for me, it was a low carb, high fat, or a keto lifestyle. For Karthik, it was a combination of things. For Anupama, it was what she calls healthy eating, or her way of eating. For all of us, the journey was different. Now, uh, what actually gets every person into that lifestyle, or what is the tipping point, could be anything. For some it is a t-shirt not fitting. For me it was like, okay, fine, you look better than me, and okay, I also want to look good, so what are you doing? It could be a very simple conversation like that. And some people are like, told certain things that, oh, it's okay to be, it's the stress which actually leads you to a little bit of weight gain, and hormones can do this to you. Or if you are in a certain, if you have a certain disease, so the weight is because of the diabetes, and the diabetes is not because of the weight. Or in certain scenarios, the normal thing is, if you have thyroid, you're bound to have a little bit of weight. So, and then those kind of, very popular notions which keeps doing the rounds, um, get you in a mental position where you're like, okay, fine, this is an acceptable norm. If I have these ABCD conditions, this is something which has happened to me, this is not going to get reversed, this is what it is. So everybody said that, if you're a diabetic, you're a pre-diabetic. I don't think you will be, and you're second generation diabetic. So I'm third generation actually. So in my case, it's in the family. So everybody said that, oh, you're pre-diabetic, it's not a surprise, everything is going to happen to you, this is so you should start consider taking insulin, etc., etc. And I was like, okay, fine, okay, I am not very happy about it, but let me see what I can do. And every second blog I would read to, any scientific material I would go to, um, they would say that, there are certain things. If insulin is dependent on your body weight, there is a mechanism and metabolism ratio to insulin production in your body. If you moderate certain, eating patterns and sleeping patterns, hydration patterns, and if you moderate those basic behaviors, so the weight and insulin are always going to work very complementary to each other. And it was nothing like a popular notion. And I realized that, what we are missing out in this entire journey, or while we are not being able to do something, is that we don't actually go to the right sources. We just listen to our peers, and sometimes we are not bothered about whom we are buying advice from. We are just giving into the popular notion, and people are saying, okay, ABCD is good, do this, we just follow that. We don't understand the science of it. So, and also, as Peeyush said that, when I started this lifestyle, I was also not trying to, focus on the science. I was also trying to do this as just a diet. Somebody gave me a Excel sheet, let me do this for 1 week, and, let's be happy about it. But then I think what is important is people can have different tipping points. Transformation journey can start from anywhere. More than following a diet or a pattern, develop a habit which transforms into a lifestyle, and understand the basics, whatever you're doing. So yeah, that's
Sure. Deepika,
that's what I wanted to
I
say.
think
Sukhdeep,
I
over
have,
to you.
yeah, you are absolutely right. Perfect, Deepika. I think there are two words I've taken from your just introduction right now about tipping point. One is habit, and one is continuity. So I'm going to ask Vivek. Vivek, this is one of the very important aspects of how to create a long-term habit. We have seen many a times that we go to gym, we start dieting, or we start running, but after just a few days, we discontinue that. Either we get bored, or we lose interest, or we think that result is not coming. So even though we know that rule 2190, which is theoretically we have read many times, that 21 days it takes to build habit, 90 days to build lifestyle. What's your view for creating a long term habit? Because for your successful journey, all the panelists, this is one of the most important aspects, habit. Yeah, over to you, Vivek, please.
Thanks, Sukhdeep. I think, see, forming habit is really difficult, right? When I talked about in my introduction or the tipping point, I tried to do this two, three, four times, and I was not able to get into that habit, right? And there are enough books and enough experts on this topic. You can go read Atomic Habit and other books and know more about it. But I think very personally, without doing any research, just reflecting on how it happened, I think, you know, Piyush talked about when I was talking to him personally around about cue, action, and reward, right? So if I reflect and on my journey and look at how it fits there, I think forming habit, some of the things that are really essential is forming a community of other people, right? Committing to them. So started with my wife Anamika, where she started with yoga last August. I started working out and going into diet moderation, right? So she's continued to do it, but I would relapse and then come back, right? So seeing her and seeing others like the IIMK Fit group, so Deep, that you manage so expertly. So having that community is one of the cues, right? Where you commit to people that I'm going to do this. You book sessions in advance and you share that with people, so that now you are almost like, on the rope, that if you don't do it, it's coming back to you as I'm not, delivering on the promise that I almost made to other people, right? Then I think the other thing that helped me or helped someone forming habit is what you have been doing or what you love to do before you got into this new habit, right? So for example, I was anyways getting up early, 5:36 a.m. to play tennis, which I love to do, right? Now I at least had that when I started this journey. And then what I did was, I instead of playing tennis, which was really tough to do, I started going to the gym. So I think taking a bit of like some habits that you already have, morphing that into something that you want to do is probably a helpful way to do it. Um, from cue to action, I think it's more around, booking. Once you book those sessions in advance, or once you say, hey, I'm coming to the gym, um, doing that then, leads to rewards, right? So once I go to the gym, I would feel good about myself that, okay, I have done it. And once you keep doing that over time, and I'm talking about gym, but it can be running, it can be tennis, and I try to do a mixture of that to just, keep myself from getting bored in a way. But once I get into that habit, and you start feeling guilty if you miss it for a week. We were talking again and about this
Yeah,
fear
Vivek,
of
I think,
relapsing, right?
yeah, yeah,
Sukhdeep?
absolutely.
Um,
Yeah, absolutely, Vivek. One of the shortcuts of building habit is to disable snooze button in alarm clock. That is snooze button. Hello, hello,
yes, we can hear you, Sukhdeep.
hello. Am I audible? Yeah, I was just saying that the easiest way to start a habit is to disable snooze button. So, over to you, Anupama. I would like to ask from you. Yes, I would like to ask from you that you were passionately eating whatever you wanted to eat while you were in your weight loss journey. So, how to start eating healthier and nutritious food on a day-to-day basis? How do you eat Anupama? Yeah, over to you, please.
Yeah, okay. So on on this eating healthy food, see, all this bad habit of eating junk food and all are really hard to break. So it won't happen in a day that you will stop eating all the junk right away, or you will just stop as in eating all the processed food. So the thing is, you have to include healthy habits. So the first one is, whosoever are beginner, I mean, whosoever wants to start the fitness journey, the first thing is, just don't buy any junk food. Okay, don't buy any don't keep stock of any chips or biscuits which has a lot of maida content. So that is the first step as a beginner you can take. Apart from that, see, why I'm saying this, because these items of junk food, they have almost zero nutrients and they are full of calories. So obviously, if you are into a fitness journey, you would not want to take calories which has no nutrients at all. Secondly, you have to include veggies in your every meal. So try to eat 5 portion of veggies every day. It has like lot many nutrients and it would really help you in your fitness journey. The third point is, and the most important is the snacking part. So most of us, whosoever they eat homemade food, but still whenever they get hungry at 5 o'clock, or in between lunch and breakfast, they have a habit of munching. So that is something which we really need to control. And even if you're eating some snacks, it has 200 calories, so 200 can actually make a lot of difference in your weight loss progress. So keep a replacement for such snacks, like eat poha, eat upma instead of biscuit mixture, or Try to keep high protein snacks like chana and all. Also, try to include protein in your every meal. So whenever you are eating protein, you will feel more fuller and you will not get hungry easily. So that will automatically reduce your calorie intake. So these are the small changes that can bring in your life, which would help you in long run also. Coming to the reading of label of any packaged product, it is very important to be aware. So initially, I was also not aware. I used to go by what marketer used to tell advertisement that this has this particular product has high fiber, or this particular product has not many protein. So see, so I will give you like 5-6 tips like how you can read the label. The first thing is you have to start ignoring what is written in the front package of the product. If it says that it is multigrain or it's high fiber, don't go by it, because currently there is no regulation by the government which restrict the manufacturer to not advertise and mislead the audience. So it's better to check the back of, I have this snack. So you just check the back of the package, like what all nutrients are there in the product. You have to also look for the serving size. So for example, if a packet of biscuits says that it has a serving size of 2 and per serving size has a calorie of 250, so please make sure that you eat just one as in your part of serving only. If you eat entire packet, you would end up consuming like 500 calories. So yeah, so this is something which you need to take care of it. The third and the most important thing is the calories that you get. So if you see, I have this, you can see this has a calorie of 377 in 100 grams of serving. So, and this packet is of 150 grams. So if you eat this entire packet, it means you're going to consume 377 calories. So be aware of what kind of what nutrients you're taking, right? Coming to the next and the fourth important point is limit the nutrients from fat. For example, if any product has calorie which is coming from fat, which is 15%, so you have to avoid that. Trans fat is not good for health. Unsaturated fat is very unhealthy. So try avoiding that. Point number 5 is you have to look for the micronutrients. Just see like how many grams of vitamin A, vitamin B, C, iron are present. So that is the 5 points to read the label.
Sure.
And one common thing is
Yeah.
The last point I want to make is
Yeah, please
this
continue.
Cornvita is very common product in household. So just check the label once and don't go by what it says that it builds muscle and brain. Just see the label behind. It says that in 100 grams it contains 73 grams of sugar. So just be aware of what you eat. That is what I want to say on the label thing.
So, Anupama, I think this is a very interesting topic. We can have a 1 hour discussion in this. Even Peeyush yourself can take it for a 2 hour discussion. But of course, I agree that all products have their own way of marketing, and some of them are not following the guidelines FSAI which has set. But still, regulatory aspects of it are refining the process. Now, I personally feel that yes, this small 3, 4, 5 minutes are not will never justify this topic. But in time to come, maybe we can have a special webinar on this. I will ask Karthik how we can elaborate on intermittent fasting techniques, and then what about the desired results through this kind of a technique? Since you have undertaken this as a part of your journey, we would like to hear from you.
Sure. See, a very simple question, right? Today we have the practice of having breakfast, right? Lunch, dinner. And if you ask anybody, right, what is breakfast, right? They will say food that we eat in the morning is breakfast. And the food that we consume in the afternoon is lunch. And the food that we consume in the night is dinner. Quite obvious, right? We just have to remember one thing. Before, man discovered agriculture and invented refrigerator. We did not have set timings for our meals. We ate when we had access to food. But because of these practices, this Pavlovian, the dog gets to eat food when, the practice, right? We have been used to having food at specific times, right? Which is not necessary, right? Uh, for example, I eat the first meal of the day, when I started this journey around 12 o'clock. So that is my breakfast. Whenever I broke the fast, was my breakfast, right? The mid meal, right? I used to have it around 4 o'clock in the evening, right? That used to be my lunch. And the last meal that I used to have, right, is around 8 o'clock, right? So I used to have normally the 8 o'clock, 1 o'clock, 8 o'clock. So 12 hours of eating window and 8 in the night to the next day morning, 8 hours of fasting, right? That used to be our norm, right? 12 hours eating, 12 hours fasting, right? Now that fasting window has been increased to 16, right? 8 o'clock in the night to 12 o'clock the next afternoon. 16 hours of fasting, and eating window is only for 8 hours, right? Um, you do fast, you eat. You fast, you eat. Intermittently, you do that. So that is basically the concept of intermittent fasting. So there are multiple ways to do that, right? Uh, the basic structure, as I told you, is like 16 is to 8, right? And the second type is it's 20 is to 4, right? As you rightly would have guessed by now, 20 hours of fasting and 4 hours of eating. Probably have 2 meals. It's sometimes also called as the warrior diet, where the first meal is usually either a protein or a salad, right? A light meal, and then at the end of the 24th hour, 23rd hour probably is you go for a heavy meal with all your components for the day, right? So that's called the warrior diet, or 20 is to 4. There's also another technique in intermittent fasting where 5 is to 2, as we call it. So 5 days of the week we eat normally, and 2 days of the week you kind of eat 25% of what you normally eat. For example, if you eat 4 idlis or 4 dosas for breakfast, right? So those 2 days where you are fasting, or not actually fasting, where your intake is reduced. Now that you consume only 25% of your usual stuff. So you probably have 1 dosa or 1 idli for breakfast, right? And you kind of span it at least about 2 to 3 days apart. So you do a Monday, Thursday, or a Tuesday, Friday. And there's the another method of intermittent fasting, which is called the 6 is to 1. It's nothing but 6 days of regular eating, 1 day of complete fasting. Only water is allowed, right? So let's say you choose Friday or a Saturday, right? So as a fasting day, right? So Friday night you have your dinner. The next meal that you have is nothing on Saturday. Sunday morning breakfast. So technically you go on a fast for almost 36 hours every week, right? So we've had a lot of religious names given, right? So the now science call it intermittent fasting. And there's one last uh, you know uh, method of technique of intermittent fasting, which is like attaining the yogic level, I would say. Is 1 meal a day. It's called OMAD, OMAD. So it's 23 hours of fasting and 1 hour of eating window. So it's not for intermittent fasting. Again, it's not for everybody. You can probably, you don't have to
Yeah.
go directly into the 16 hours, right? You are probably doing 12, 12. Good. You probably move 13, 12, slowly 14. So that's how I increased, right? From the 12, 12 of all of us, which we do, I kind of pushed my breakfast from 8 o'clock to 9, slowly to 10, right, to 11. Then that's how I reached, consistently I reached eating breakfast at 12 o'clock and finishing my dinner at 8 o'clock, right? Then slowly I moved to the warrior diet. So 4 o'clock I used to have my breakfast and dinner at 8. And on and off I could do OMAD, but not continuously, right? But after 2.5 years of trying, practicing, right? Now, I think from first week of June, uh, I'm on 1 meal a day for the last 3 months. So I eat whatever I want. I have a blast.
So
From 7
Karthik,
o'clock
I
I
mean,
start.
hello, Karthik. I
Yeah,
personally feel that yours is the toughest thing till now, I'll not be able to follow your path, one meal a day and then fasting for 36 hours.
So
I mean,
it does not
everybody
start.
has a
If
independent.
anybody starts with 1 meal a day, you are
Yeah.
bound to fail, right? You have to reach that level, right? It gives you
Yes,
complete control
this
of
is again
mind,
a
body,
topic.
soul.
This is again a topic which, yeah, Karthik. This is again a topic which requires justice, as in a lot of time has to be dedicated to it.
Absolutely.
Unfortunately, today we are not able to dedicate that time. So
Sure.
I thank you for this important information. I mean, this is being practiced by our forefathers also, and everywhere in we have seen and read how beneficial it is to the body. Still, I mean, this is a very good way you have implemented, and results are in front of us. So definitely, this is one of the key aspects where one can look. So I would like to ask Piyush. We have heard a lot about dieting and also exercise. So is it only diet and exercise, Piyush, that one should take care of? I mean, just a thought. What's your view?
I think that's an excellent question, Sukhdeep. I would say we have to live a holistic lifestyle. And holistic lifestyle certainly does not mean only diet or only exercise. It is a combination of lot of things, and this is at different levels. So people call it mind, body, and soul. I think if we take care of all the three, then we are able to achieve what we want to achieve and have a very balanced life. Now, there's a concept of three T's. So there are three T's which we have to take care of. These three T's in our life are toxins, trauma, and thoughts. So I'll elaborate on each of them. Toxins, I'll first come to trauma. So trauma is something like accident in very simple words. We may have accidents in our life, and those we cannot take care of generally because they are dependent on external factors. We may meet an accident, however, we can be careful about keeping our life safe through safety measures. So one is what affects our health, mind, and body is trauma. Second is toxins. Toxin means anything which is polluting or which is not good for us. So it can be pollution in terms of air pollution. It can be water pollution, or maybe a liquid pollution. It can be a food. Now, toxins will be in two terms. One is in terms of quality, and the other is in terms of quantity. So we have to keep in mind that whenever we consume something, it's just not the quality that we have to take care, it is also the quantity. So there are two things that we have to keep in mind so that we are toxin free. If we eat food, it should be of good quality as well as of good quantity. So like Anupama mentioned, that there should be no sugar in your food. That means sugar is certainly something very bad, something as bad as, I would say, cocaine or any other addictive item. So that should be totally out, zero quantity. There may be things like, let's say, if you're cheating at some point of time. So that means if you want to cheat on something which is not good, you want to have some chips, let's say, just have one or two chips. Don't increase the quantity if you have to cheat on something. So we have to keep in mind that quality and quantity have to be in
Yeah.
balance. So no sugar, maybe carbs which are not good, don't take them. Maybe take only good fats, don't take trans fats. Take a lot of food and fibers, some fruits, no processing. Again, as Anupama mentioned, always read the levels, intelligently calculate how much of bad food, processed food is going inside your body. Same applies to liquids. Maybe alcohol is one example that you should keep a control on. Uh, what happens with these is that it goes into our body, uh, makes changes to a lot of things, metabolism as well as hormonal imbalance. And hormones are those very small quantity chemicals in small quantity in our body, which actually controls the entire body. So if you have a wrong amount of insulin or wrong amount of imbalanced thyroid or imbalanced happiness hormone, let's say happiness hormone is low, you'll feel always dull. And these hormones are are actually managed by what is the amount of input and what is the quality of input that is going into your body. The third, so I'll go from toxins. The third is thoughts. Thoughts is more around mental health, which is which we have to keep in mind. Again, thoughts also which arise in brains take care of a lot of hormone balance within our body. So if our thoughts are not right, if we are stressed out, then we have to take care of those. Otherwise, they drive the behavior of our body. So examples are, if you are not happy, you consume sugar and carbs. You may be consuming alcohol as well, and then those inputs will also uh, uh, change the balance of hormones inside your body, and that's a vicious cycle that you go into. So always remember, you have to take care of three things: toxin, trauma, and thoughts. Exercise, by the way, coming to that, it takes care of your thoughts, and it also takes care of your insulin. So remember, three T's:
Oh, very good.
toxin, trauma, thoughts, and that will take care
So
of
again,
all your.
Piyush, we have seen your passion about this topic. I have attended one webinar of yours of which extended 2 hours, and we wanted more. So definitely, we have always respected your intelligence and good knowledge about this topic. So thank you for these insights, and I will like to ask Deepika a very a different question altogether. I mean, it's fact or myth you have to take, but this is just this is what is a perception that women face more challenges in their health transformation. Um, uh, um, the biggest challenge generally comes from own family and friends. So, is it true? And if it is, then how you have overcome that, and how anybody else can overcome that? I mean, just a question, important. I mean,
So, I see this is very interesting question, and thanks for asking, Sukhdeep, because it is seen that if you're a woman of the house and there are 4 5 people, how are you going to sustain a lifestyle or a diet? Because you would be eating differently, other people will be eating differently, so you have to make 2 or 3 meals, or how exactly you're going to go about it? How are you going to manage the time? So this is a big question, right? But the simplest answer is healthy life, healthy food is for everyone. Why would I discriminate cooking healthier version for me and not for my family? I would rather introduce them to that healthier lifestyle, and we all will, cook and eat together. So that's how I saw this particular logistics kind of a challenge. And then, of course, there is a big time social stigma, and there is this perception that as I was also telling that um, women will always find it difficult because they have certain things which are going on in their lives, like a maternity could be a milestone, or planning a baby could be a milestone, or a hormonal imbalance could be a milestone, a challenge I should say, or getting married could be a milestone. And it is kind of a socially acceptable norm that on these milestones your weight is bound to change, your size is bound to change. But the answer is no, it's not the weight changing, it's the metabolism changing, because you're giving into certain bad habits. The easiest way to plan on the transformation journey is: number one, find out what is your basic metabolism rate. Number two, understand what is your calorie need for a particular day. And number three is just create a calorie deficit. So if you're eating, like if your requirement is say 1200, say 1400 calories, and you're planning a daily deficit of 300 calories, you are doing a good job at it. Now, this is the basic of it's the basic, right? I mean, you want to reduce something, you have to understand how much you need to reduce, and that's how you plan. Now the question is, once you decided on the calorie information, like calorie deficit which you're going to create, the second point is, how are you going to create that calorie deficit? Some people do it by eating healthy, some people do it by working out a lot, some people do it by replacing those calories by healthy calories. And it's a very fine line. I mean, if you ask me what are healthy calories, it's very simple. See, body is a very, very sharp machine. It has a memory of its own. and it knows survival. It's not my body, your body, it's everyone's body. Body knows survival. That is, and body has one thing, very basic principle. Body has certain reserves, very basic of biology, which probably Piyush has also talked about. Body needs certain, some body is a machine, it needs energy to run. It understands survival. It will, if you feed it, it will reserve some energy, it will burn some energy to run that machinery. This is the basic principle. Now, this particular energy, if it is efficient energy or inefficient energy, is going to make all the difference. If you eat proteins, if you eat greens and the minerals, etc., etc., your hormones are going to be balanced. You are getting clean energy. If you do not do that, you can pile up the energy from easier available options. Now, what are these easier available options? Things which may not give you nutrients but give you very high amount of energy. Keto is a diet where they say that let us choose better energy efficient things, like let's give the body protein, let's give the body fats which are very energy efficient, but let's not give empty calories or easy calories. So let's deprive body of sugar, let's deprive body of carbohydrates. And very simple, body बहुत ही ज़्यादा, if I may say, body is the laziest machinery. And when I say the laziest machinery, it would try to burn the easiest available calorie the first. So you keep on feeding it sugar, body is happy, it has to do nothing. With sugar in, energy, instant energy rush, and efficiency out. And then you have carbohydrates, but you keep depriving it of one layer. You stop giving it sugar, body changes metabolism, go to carbohydrate, burn it. You stop giving carbohydrate, go to protein and fat and burn it. So this is how exactly you plan. You first understand what is that your body is working on, what is that you're feeding, how much deficit you want to create and run on it. And again, as people all of course this esteemed panel has discussed so many different things, and so if just be conscious of what choices you're making, read the labels, understand the science, eat good, that's it, and your transformation is
Sure. I think Deepika, you have covered it so well. This is a very important aspect of keeping our health goals alive. The other side, and of course,
Sukhdeep,
yes,
Sukhdeep, I want to come in here for just
yes, please.
Less than half a minute, right? You actually were asking, Deepika, how does it, how is it different for women, right?
Yes.
When it comes to food and right. So a lot of hormonal changes which Deepika was mentioning, right? So there are certain aspects like thyroid, PCOD in women, right? So in Tamil there is a saying, "Unave marundu," right? It means food is medicine, right? If you eat the right food, if you eat properly, right, you actually don't have to depend on medicines to solve your problems, right? The food itself, sets things right for you. So all these hormonal changes, right?
Yeah,
Laziness. If you consume right food, we cannot will not have an opportunity to hide behind those
sure. I think Karthik, you have
we will be able
this
to
is a
lead a
very
good
valid
life.
point. What we eat, absolutely. What we eat definitely is one of the very important part of our fitness journey. Audience question from Anirudh also, which I'm going to ask later, either to Deepika or anyone from the panel. Very interesting question Anirudh has asked. But right now, I'm going to ask Anupama how to manage fitness with hectic work life. Now we all are working. There is extended working hours. I mean, there is a pre-COVID and right now, but still, I mean, this is a general aspect which we think when we want to start the fitness journey. Anupama.
Yeah. See, what I feel is managing fitness with work life is not that difficult once you decide to be fit for life. For example, if a person is working from 9 a.m. to 7 p.m., he can still take out time to work out in morning. So I think it's more about building habit. So if you feel that maybe evening time is not good for workout, you have to build a habit to wake up in the morning. Just try to be consistent. So even if you get like 15 minutes or 20 minutes to work out before once you start working, as in your job, so that you can do. The second point is you have to focus more on non-exercise activity, which is also called NEAT, like non-exercise activity thermogenesis. It means activity that you do which is not related to exercise. So for example, if I will tell you my example, so I'm into sales, so most of the time I have to talk to lot many dealers during entire day, discussing on the billing and the retail. So at that time I generally take my calls while walking. So that's how I count on a step. So these are the small changes that you will have to adopt consciously, but just try to be consistent. But still I understand that there are some people who really have a as in hectic work and they really do not have time to work out. So you still have 2 days to work out. So see, most of the fitness experts say that if you're working out 3 to 4 times in a week, it is sufficient. So you make best out of those 2 days that you get on weekends. You can give your best, and rest 1-2 days you can accommodate in your in Monday to Friday. The second aspect of fitness is the diet. So even if you're not able to work out 6 days a week and you're just working out 3 days a week and mostly dependent on NEAT, as in that I explained just now, you just focus on your diet. Just focus on eating healthy. Don't do too much bunching, and then you will be in your either calorie maintenance or calorie deficit, and you will be able to achieve your fitness goal. As in, if you want to reduce weight, and even if you want to maintain weight, just by tweaking your diet and adopting the habit of eating healthy, you can easily manage your work life and fitness. That's what has worked for me, and I'm sure if you will do this, surely it will work for you people also.
Did we lose Sukhdeep?
I think we lost Sandeep. Oh. So Vivek,
Hello.
in your journey, okay, we
Hello.
got Sukhdeep back. Hi Sukhdeep, over to you.
Yeah. Hi. So I was just saying that for maintaining work-life balance, definitely mentally we have to be very strong, and there has to be a constant win over our mind, and so that we make it as a habit. So I would like to ask Vivek, when we want to manage this work-life schedule, and then how you managed during the lockdown, and then what are the particular moments which you can recall, and you think that you are one of the biggest achievement, because even you have been active before COVID lockdown also. So I would like to ask Vivek his insights on maintaining this kind of a schedule or maintaining work-life balance, as in maintaining the exercises in this daily busy schedule, and also how this lockdown has helped.
Sure, Sukhdeep.
Yes, please.
Uh, sure. I'll share some thoughts, and I think it's different for everyone, I guess. But so when the lockdown started, I was around 3.5 months into, working out, and in this weight loss journey, I had lost around 10 kgs. And I guess the biggest fear I had was, now that the gyms are closed, what do I do, right? The tennis courts are closed, gyms are closed. So I tried to, experiment with other things. So I started running within my society, which a lot of people in IIMK community, the fit community, do. But then that got locked down as well. So I tried Nike Training Club and a couple other pre-made videos, but it was just not there was not enough motivation. There's no competition there to some extent, right? If you are physically in the gym, you see other people working out, motivates you, especially people who are better better physically than you, and so on, right? So finally latched into, this is not an advertisement, but latched into CureFit, their live sessions where the camera tracker and the energy scores let you compete with hundreds of other people. And that's, I mean, all of us have been through competitive exams and so on. So there is a bit of competitiveness in all of us, right? So that really helped me get back into doing, workouts almost every day. I think the first 3 months of lockdown, I had 100 sessions already done, and it was free, so that helped too. So that was good. In terms of what I'm proud of, I think the biggest thing, apart from losing weight, obviously, is that I have at least motivated 10 other people to, either restart their fitness regime or start it anew. Existing WhatsApp groups of my school friends, my undergrad friends, people from my company as well. And now that they do it, and apart from the IIMK Fit community, we have other WhatsApp groups that keep posting the pictures of the workouts they did, either Strava runs or other fitness apps, right? So that's really, really motivating to see. And it also allows me to say, hey, now I can't go back to, eating whatever I want and not doing exercise, because I have kind of, helped them to some extent, and now they are helping me keeping motivated. Hopefully that answers your questions. You're on mute, Sukhdeep.
Sorry.
Sukhdeep,
There
you're on mute.
is one question from Anirudh. Hello. Hello. Am I
Sukhdeep,
on
we can
mute?
hear you.
No, we can hear you.
Hello. Hello. Yes, you are able to hear me now. Yeah. So Anirudh asked a very stuff. And so do children's metabolism allow more sugar consumption than adults?
I would like to
Deepika,
answer that.
if you can answer, please.
Okay, Deepika, you answer.
Anyone can answer.
So
Yeah. Peeyush can.
I'm going to take help of Peeyush as well on this one, and so sugar is a habit-forming substance, and as I said that sugar is something which is not it isn't an issue of metabolism. It's just that the energy consumption. So, and it's again a loop, because children are very, very active. They need a lot of energy throughout their day, and sugar is the easiest substance to give them that sugar rush or energy spike or high. So that is why it runs actually in a loop. Uh, Not that metabolism is better, but that energy consumption is better, and sugar is easily metabolized by the body. Uh, Hence, this entire loop is created. Piyush, if you would want to
Yes,
share
certainly.
anything.
That's a very, very important question. I think since many of us are around 40 and have kids or over 40, and this is actually a misconception. Children don't love Bonvita. I'll give you an experiment to do. If you have a kid of let's say 6 months or 9 months or 1 year old, try to give them a lollipop or maybe anything which is sweet. They will just suck it for a while and throw it away. I did that with my kids when my mentor told me, and I was surprised. I asked why. Actually, why did they throw it away? I asked my kid, and my kid told me, "Papa, it's very sweet." That means that gave me a hint that their body has got a resistance to sugar. However, what we do is, beta meetha hai, kha lo. Kid, this is sweet. It's good. Please take it. And with that, what we do is we keep on breaking the resistance of the body over a period of time. And then over a period of, let's say, 20, 30 years, what happens is you have people like us who were very fat, who used to take on competition, like who will eat the largest number of rasagullas, or who will maybe have some n number of beers or whatever. So what we do is, since our childhood, our society, our friends, and the entire environment around us keep on breaking that resistance of our body. So sugar is very bad. It is as addictive as any other addictive thing, like cocaine or morphine, I would say. Don't give. My kids do not take any sugar at all. The sugar is out of my house. So if you come to my house, I'll give you a sugarless tea.
We will not come to your house.
So
I would add to I want to add one point here. So as Deepika mentioned and as Piyush mentioned, it's equally bad for kids as well. So it's kind of addictions. Deepika just talked about addiction. So it's really addictive. So and it's really bad for children also. It can cause obesity. So you will feel that your children is eating good, so he's healthy and all, but actually he might suffer for malnutrition. Also, in specifically in children, it also causes tooth decay. So if you give them too much sweet, maybe in 2-3 years you will see that their teeth is decaying. And I have seen it in my house happening with one of my cousin in his early age. So it's not advisable even for children. So if you are already giving it, try to replace it with honey or what do you say, as a healthy source of sugar.
Fruits are the best one if you want to
Thing,
give
so that
them.
you can
I'll
yeah.
chime in for 30 seconds here, and I want to leave the audience with a recommendation. So sugar actually is a big conspiracy, and there are the internet is full. So if you go to YouTube and try to Google try to find out sugar conspiracy, you will try to understand. You will be able to find out that there were two drugs which were invented. One was sugar, one was cocaine. The cost of production of sugar was lesser. So they said that this is the more efficient drug to actually sell and market rather than cocaine. Same time, same metabolism, same kind of high, both the things do. But what we have done, we have accepted sugar because it has been marketed in a certain style, and we all are marketers here. We all know our jobs. We all know how things work, and you would love those commentaries when you see that. So definitely try to understand the conspiracy behind sugar, the marketing. And also I want to tell you that there was one particular point in time when sugar statues were made by European elites to display how wealthy they are. So this is the kind of sugar, and this is the kind of market which we are talking. And the moment, and we don't realize that there was a lot of slavery which is also kind of which has happened from India. People were sent for sugarcane farming because they knew how to grow the crop. So sugar is a big conspiracy. Please read it. It has nothing to do with metabolism.
Sure, Deepika.
The moment you bust that myth, you'll probably move away from that evil.
Sure.
And start focusing more on your health, irrespective of gender, irrespective of age. Thank you.
Sure. I mean, definitely we will like to read it and Google about this sugar conspiracy. And at least I am addicted to now. I cannot try to think that I try to not eat anything without sugar. But definitely a lot of takeaways. If I have to talk about my personal transformation journey from injury to running, I have seen that one has to have a lot of patience. So for those who are aspiring to have a goal and if they're right now not fit, I will only give you two of my personal experiences. One is have patience. One is please ensure that whatever doctors are saying, take second, third, fourth opinion, but always believe in you. It means no transformation happens overnight. So there is a stepping stone. For me, I started with walking. I just said there can be your friends who must be walking very fast, running very fast. Do not worry. You take your own time. Be at ease. Do not worry about anybody else's performance. Ensure you do proper exercises. Ensure that there is proper diet. Ensure that there is a lot of disciplined life you follow, and everything will be fine. Now, I'm going to ask one common question to all of you before we wind up this wonderful, informative webinar. I'm going to ask any two of the panelists, how do we plan? What if the goals are not achieved? I mean, if let's assume somebody from audience want to start their transformation journey, and like Vivek from 105 to 85 kgs. Let's assume Vivek couldn't achieve at 85. He's stuck at 100. Now, what is your advice to our audience? I mean, any volunteer can maybe Karthik and Vivek can answer this question, and then we come to our last common question. Yes, please. Karthik, first you.
Sure. Yeah. So now if you look at me, at 77, 75, 78, right? No, well, I have achieved what a lot of people will, what I myself, wanted to achieve very badly. And at that stage, I was like quite sure that it is impossible, right? Sitting from here, it might look, possible. It might look easy. No, the journey was not easy, right? I'll give you a timeline, right, to illustrate how it kind of spanned out. So from 125 to 100, about 25 kilos, I was able to achieve that in about 3.5 months. Okay, good. I'm 192 centimeters tall. So if you look at the BMI reverse calculation, so anywhere between 70 to 92 is the ideal weight for your 18.5 to 25 BMI numbers. Right? Simple calculation for all of us. If you're 180 centimeters, you're okay to be till about 80 kgs. If you're 190 centimeters, you're okay to be 90 kgs. Right? It's still safe to be within that limit. Just remove the first digit of your height in centimeters. Right? So from 125 to 100 took me 3 months. Right? From 100 to 80 kgs, it took about 6 to 7 months. Okay? From 80 to 75, it took me 9 months. Right? So the point is, what is the most important thing that you need? You need a lot of patience.
Yes.
You need to do things consistently, right? Do not get depressed, right? I've said this so many times to myself. Do not get depressed when you do not see results on the weighing scale. Enjoy the journey. There's no point in getting obsessive about it. The more obsessive that we get, the faster we're going to lose, the interest and probably stop doing what you're already doing great.
Yeah. So Vivek, your quick answer to this question, please.
I would say, so I am in that journey where the last part, right? Where the part where it took 9 months for Karthik. So it does get demotivating, right? I have been there. I lost bunch of weight from like 93 to 85, 82 actually back in 2012. Then I gained weight and actually crossed my previous milestone of getting to 103 and now coming back, right? In last 1 month, my weight has not moved. It's at 85 and it moves like half a kg. So it's still demotivating for me. So, I mean, I need to draw more inspiration from Karthik and, and also on this panel, all the other 3 panelists about probably I need to eat a bit more right and get to from the 85 to around 80, which is below 25.
So Vivek, we are already.
I think demotivation.
Yeah. Please continue.
No. What I meant to say is basically keeping yourself from getting demotivated is the biggest challenge, and if we can continue to do that through, again, relying on friends, relying on buddies who are on the same journey as you, being part of some of those groups where people are doing a lot to remain fit, I think that's probably a very, very good way to do it.
Sure. I think Vivek, there is one very, very important takeaway. Patience. Patience is one of the key words. And revisiting. Sometimes we start our journey, but we are not taking second view. We should always take a second view from somebody who has been successful in following that particular journey or pattern of fitness. So having injury-free fitness journey is one of the biggest success anybody can have. There is one question from Meenal before I ask the common question, but I personally feel that question is a very cannot be. We will not be able to do justice to that question in 2-3 minutes. But still, I'll read the question, and if any one of you, maybe Deepika or Peeyush, can just try to answer in 2-3 minutes as a summarized version. It's stating about how do diabetic person avoid munching, as many friends complain of hungry often, or is it just a mindset that diabetic people feel hungry? So Peeyush, I think you can answer this briefly.
Sure. So I think that's an awesome question. This is a problem that all diabetic people face, and do not blame it on yourself. Blame it on the hormones that are imbalanced in your body. It is again because people have got how diabetes works. I think for that we'll have a detailed session separately. But in very short, what happens is when you're diabetic, your insulin level is very high, which actually makes you crave for more and more sugar or more carbs, because you're not able to get that much energy from the same amount of carb or sugar. So what you have to get away from that, you have to get out of that vicious cycle. Now, how to get out of the vicious cycle is what I have experienced is get onto a diet which is full of more fat and very less of carbs and sugar, and then that will force or change your hormones to be in a balanced state, and then you will stop craving. You will eat what is right and what is healthy and what is good for your
Thank
body.
you, Piyush.
So that is in very short.
I think we can have a quick 2 minutes view from Karthik also. Let's not extend beyond 2 minutes. Please, your views also, Karthik.
Sure. So, Minal, there's a lot of evidence and research which has said that so people have sweet tooth, right? Especially with diabetes, you're restricted, right? That you're not able to have access to sweets itself is psychological pain point to address, right? You be normal, right? You will probably not have so much of cravings as you would normally have uh, than when you're restricted, right? There is enough research to suggest that people diabetic people, if they consume good proteins, right, at the end of their meal, that insulin response happens really good, right? So end your meal with you go for a good whey protein. We do not endorse any brand of whey protein, not the usual 500 400 rupees once you get in medical shops, right? Again, remember what Anupama said, read the labels. You get, for the same amount, you get only 10 grams 12 grams of protein and 18 grams 20 grams of carbohydrates. No, go for a good whey protein, right? If you look at the cost of cost of per gram of protein, the 4,000 rupees 5,000 rupees protein would actually eventually end up getting you know more economical than going for multiple 500 600 rupees protein powder which is available in medical shops. Go for a good protein, and trust me, you do a postprandial, right? Do a postprandial today, get the values, have a similar meal tomorrow, and end the meal with the protein shake, right? And check your postprandial. I'm sure you will see a lesser, blood sugar spike. So you get, good protein. You get your sweet tooth. You can freeze. Fat is a good form. Mix coconut oil and protein powder. Mix it, freeze it. Eat. That could be a good. There are a lot of alternatives, right, in LCHF, in keto versions of all these mithai that we can make and consume. It addresses your sweet tooth. It's also good for your health. So follow these things, and I'm sure you'll
So
see
I think Meenal must have heard this answer, and definitely this is a very elaborative. This question answer cannot be summarized in 2 3 minutes. But our panelists, I mean, they are very expert on this topic. Piyush and Karthik, thank you. Now, towards the last kind of closing of webinar, I would like to ask a question to all our panelists. What is the message you wish to give to those who want to start transformation journey? A simple message. Of course, we have already spoken about if the goal is not achieved, how to ensure sustenance or how to overcome challenges. Just a very brief kind of your view, keeping in mind your journey, keeping in mind your core competencies, and keeping in mind how it can be implemented in today's scenario. So we can start with Anupama, please.
Okay, so as mentioned by Karthik, it is really important to be patient when you have taken your fitness journey. So see, you will not see results in 10 days. You will not see results in 15 days. So don't get fooled by what you see over internet. Like I will lose, like you can lose weight of 10 kgs in 10 days. Try to adopt sustainable eating habits. Try to adopt a lifestyle where you'll find out time to work out and eat healthy. That is going to help you in long run. So that is the one advice that I would want to give to everybody.
Hello, hello. Yeah, Vivek, please. What message you would like to give to those who want to start this transformation journey?
I'll just reiterate what I said very quickly. Find buddies, find people who are on the same path as you are, and that will motivate you more than anything else, at least in my
Yeah.
experience.
Thank you. Karthik?
Make it a habit. Have a lot of patience, right? While you know, uh, Vivek was mentioning about competitiveness, right? Finding strength from external sources, friends, right? Please motivate the family first, right? And get motivated from them. For example, my wife also joined the journey. Right? We whenever I lost track, she kind of motivated, right? And vice versa, right? Your parents, I'm sure a lot of our parents should be diabetic, right? Right food can actually save them from loss, all those pills, all those health issues, right? My brother was overweight, right? So make it a family affair, make it more engaging, right? And let this journey not be a task at hand rather than an experience that you live by. Like
Yes.
it should be like, let's say, a holiday or a picnic, right? So that has to be your everyday lifestyle. So it starts at home, and that will take you in the
Sure.
home run, right?
Yes, yes. Very, very valid point. I will add on later on to whatever you said. Piyush, your advice, please, to those who want to start this kind of a transformation journey.
Sure. So I would like to say that to get into a lifestyle, we need two things. One is getting into a habit. Just follow a 2 minute rule. Something that you can do even for 2 minutes every day to get into a good healthy habit. You will one day end up having a very good healthy lifestyle. So that will help you. Second is what I follow is 80% food and 20% exercise rule. The effect of food is 80% for the same effort that you put in exercise. And so your food is input, and in input quality and quantity is very much important, and exercise certainly adds up to it. Do not depend on just one, but depend on both, and that will help you follow an awesome lifestyle. So I would maybe close this with "Jaisa khao and वैसा हो विमन," or that means what you eat is how you feel and how you speak.
Perfect. Deepika, I would like you to also add on to any of your thoughts in one of the questions of Minal. Just a quick one. I'm sorry, I'm just adding it to this question. In addition to your conclusive remarks on if somebody wish to start a journey which you undertook successfully, and over to you, please.
Okay, so Meenal, just I mean, Karthik actually left you with a very great advice, and Piyush also tried to explain a little bit of basics on diabetic eating. Um, See, doctors generally, if you go to a doctor, they'll say that break your meals. If you will feel hungry, try to eat multiple amount of meals. But every time you eat, there is an insulin spike which is happening, which defies the purpose of intermittent fasting totally. The moment you start replacing these smaller meals with actually better calories like fats or proteins, what is going to happen is the interval of feeling hungry is naturally going to come down, and this is where your intermittent fasting windows are also going to get created, where your insulin is also going to regulate the entire body mechanism. So the best thing is, start whenever you eat. If you're a diabetic person and you want to eat, go to healthier things like healthy, heavier, fatter, and more nutritional things like nuts or fats or better quality proteins. Once that happens, everything is going to take care of itself. It's not something which is going to happen overnight, but I'm pretty sure in 1 week that the habit of munching is going to go down, and actually your body will actually follow that routine, and things are going to
Sure.
follow the course. Now I would just conclude by saying that, and I was watching this Super Bowl halftime performance of last year, probably the hottest and most talked about event. When Shakira and J-Lo can do it at that
Yes,
age, why
yes.
can't I? If
They
they
broke the
can do it,
internet.
if they can do it, why can't I? I mean, there is nothing which stops me, right? And then the second thing is, the best version of you is always waiting for you somewhere out there. If you won't take the first step, they won't. The best version
So
of
that
you
is what
won't.
is power of you, no? That one has to believe in oneself and just go all out. Test, set the new benchmark, break it. I mean, this is very good thought, Deepika.
Yeah,
Amazing.
and whenever you lose the heat, I mean, you lose the focus and anything. My go-to reference is that performance when I look at them and I say that, अरे ये कर सकते हैं, मैं क्यों नहीं कर सकती? And that's what it is. So whenever you pick up something which is your anchor motivation, it used to be a very, a small size t-shirt for me in the beginning, a dress then, and after that this performance, and probably I think my transformation journey 2.0 is still waiting for me. And I'm sure next time when we are going to be talking, I might be just showing up with amazing abs and muscles.
So this pick will become your before pick for next for all
Of course.
panelists. Today we have clicked your pick. So this is going to be your before pick now.
Yeah,
Okay.
so this
So
is my reference journey now.
yeah, Deepika, I mean, thank you for this. Thank you for covering it so well. This topic. I would like to end end this webinar, and I mean, there were actually interesting takeaways for our audience and also for everybody who's going to listen later, because it's a YouTube link. Anybody can click and listen to. It is a reference kind of a webinar, and anybody who takes this journey will definitely notice that how each panelist took different routes to reach their self-set goals toward fitness and thereby achieving their happiness, and definitely motivating everyone around. I'm just remembering this beautiful quote which everybody must have read. Take care of your body. It's the only place you have to live. So this is a very deep thought, and we everything starts from first step. If I have to give a kind of my view on uh, how to start this transformation journey, it's very simple. What Karthik said, I agree. You have to make it very interesting. You should not do anything under stress. When I do running, I enjoy each step. One should not worry about speed. When we do running, we do exercises. Sometimes we do with our friends. It is very stress buster. It's very we are full of smiles. So one should, whenever we undertake any routine activity, it should be done with a lot of smiles, have positivity. One should not do anything under stress. One should never bother about what others figures are, or how they are able to finish that particular task in X days or X minutes. So that is my takeaway. In the start of this webinar, and also, yes, in the start of this webinar and during this webinar also, I was facing a lot of internet issues. I'm sorry for that, even though I had tested it. But when the webinar started, as I had started in saying in beginning, that IIMK is into 25th year of celebration. It has already started from Deepika had beautifully moderated that webinar of all our directors present and past. I mean, compliment to Deepika for taking so many initiatives. I'm going to ask Deepika to further speak on this before we formally close this webinar. But my thought yesterday evening we had created one group of IIMK, second group, because our first group has a full capacity of 257 now, and the second group also we are already 145 members. So my dream is that by next 21st of August 2021, we should ensure each of our batchmate and each of our IIMK alum who we are reaching out should be sent this message of fitness. They can take any path, any journey, fitness journey. It can be daily walk, it can be swimming, it can be cycling, it can be jogging, it can be running, it can be gym, it can be any kind of Zumba, it can be any activity, mix and match of the activity, yoga or meditation. But it has to be. We want 100% of our alums to be fit enthusiasts, and also spread that message of fitness in the society they are in wherever they are working. Like Vivek has led by example. He is master of, he is a star in his workplace. So this is how we motivate. This is how we carry on. So that is all my concluding remarks. For 25 years, I would like to hear from you, Deepika, before we formally close.
So thank you very much, everyone, for joining this webinar today, and thank you, Sukhdeep, for being the motivation and pushing us to get here and present it. I also want to thank Kanmani and Ashwati, who are behind the stage and hosting this beautiful reception for us. 25 years of IIMK, we want to make this celebration, which is a year-long celebration, a very, very engaging one and a very, very fit one. So please comment, like, share the video, and watch this space for more while we present to you the IIMK Alumni Association and the volunteers of IIMK Alumni Association present to you a series of talks on various different topics. Thank you very much, all of you. Thank you for joining. Namaskar.
Thank you. Yeah, thank you, Deepika. Thank you, Anupama. Thank you, Vivek. Thank you, Karthik. Thank you, Peeyush. And thank you, all the audience. And thank you to Aswati and Kanima for wonderful support. And thank you to Namit also and Ravi also. Ravi, both have been excellent support. And God bless you. Stay fit and enjoy each part of your fitness journey. Thank you.
Thanks.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks.